Vidita Burman Krishna. I am from West Bengal. My first job was Indian Petrochemicals Corporation Limited, which is now Reliance Industries. And then from Maharashtra, I have come to Delhi for because of my family reasons. And then I have joined Kellogg Brown and Roots, who are the pioneer in transitional and sustainable technologies, where we give or we sell technologies for ammonia refining, olefins, all hydrocarbon technology, and of course now it is recycling of the polymers and of course the hydrogen fuel. So now I am the chief technical advisor, and my department, I am heading the department of control and instrumentation, and I am here in KBR for almost 14 years. Thank you so much.
Great, Vedanta. Great to hear that. Rakesh, you would like to have a quick introduction?
Sure. Am I audible? Super. So I don't have that heavy introduction. I'm a recruiter, and I recruit people from different technology or non-technology background. I've around 20 years of experience, and I'm the only odd man out here, I see. But that's an opportunity for me to really look for some of you as the prospective employees of the company. But happy to be here. Thank you.
I love how he has made his 20 years look so simple by just using a word. I'm a recruiter. But that's great.
Hello everyone, and I think I'm really glad to see Rakesh in the panel. It's always good to have another perspective when you're talking about such important topics. So I'm Shweta, and I am a data science leader. I started as a graduate at Dunnhumby, which is a data science organization based out of UK. And over these 15 years, plus I've worked across multiple retailers and sectors, grocery, non-grocery, across the globe. And I am a mother to a teenager, so I have seen a lot of different changes in my career, and this has made me very passionate about a few things which I've learned through my career, and I want to make sure that the women around me get to hear and learn from my experiences. So I am the diversity champion at my organization, and I love to meet and interact with a lot of women who've had different paths and journeys. And yeah, today is one such day, and I'm already having a lot of interesting conversations since morning. So looking forward to this as well.
Sure. All right. So it's so good to have different perspective, again, or different industries and different experiences, but everyone, as I said. Thank you. All right. Am I audible now? Great. Thanks. So I said it's great to have different perspective in one room, people coming from different industries and sharing, because most of them, like when we are at beginning of our careers, at that time we think like, oh, we are in very hurry to reach somewhere. But I believe by the time, this is what we were having a discussion outside also, that it's somewhere where you're in your 40s or something, that you start actually getting hang of it, because you've already worked for at least 15 years, 20 years, you've been masters to things. So my question to you, Mita ma'am, how do you approach decision making when considering a major career shift or transition? Like, you have been in engineering, but still in engineering, you've been in a different roles. You've been in a back end, you've been in front end, you have handled the security of your factories and industry. So how does that happen? What are the things to keep in mind?
So there are different perspectives. I mean to say, when you are very junior, you look forward to your promotions, and from then promotions to your different departments, and of course from one company to the other. So there are different stages. So I would like that you have to know what is you have to do yourself a SWOT analysis. What are your strengths, weakness? What are your threats? So you understand yourself first, and then you go for the jump. It's not like whimsically you do one. So you should also have to know that if you want a jump, and if you want to go to some extent, the job that you are going for, you do some analysis, skill analysis maybe, and you do some maybe some certification course or have a hands-on on it if possible. And of course, then you have to have the financial part of it where you do the pros and cons, where are you going, whether you can sustain with that jump. For 10-20%, I don't think, Rakesh can tell me better. So I don't think the jump is worth giving a jump, because when you have a credibility in a company, it's a very good for you, and the company trusts you, and you trust the company. So you have got a very good platform and a very solid platform with you, and a very good team with you. And of course, your environment, because your family is also going to, you have to discuss with your family what is your support system. That's one thing. Another is goal setting. My previous speaker, she told that and the goals have to be, it has to be broken into small goals that is attainable. So please go for an actionable goals which is attainable, and then of course for slowly, these are the small steps. Then you can go forward, and of course go for a mentor, a coach who knows who is an expertise, has got the expertise, and maybe they will coach you for the transition, give you a different perspective, give you a reality what the role is about, and that is how you go forward. Yeah.
All right, great. I do agree, SWOT analysis is something that I also take up as in our communication class. Now, it is basically a marketing idea started by Marabine. It's a concept. But SWOT analysis basically when we are analyzing what are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And based on that, we move forward when we are choosing our careers or making those shifts. Secondly, very well said, that's family support. The people who are at back home, how you're going to handle the things, and that really matters, because every decision impacts everyone around us. It's not, we are never alone in journey of life. We have people that we impact. So very beautifully said, ma'am. And yes, it's important that we all have to divide our goals. So, you can say that I want to be Prime Minister of India. But to become that, first you need to become a local politician first. You need to become an MLA and do some good work to come to that. So it's not कि मेरा goal है. It will have very small steps. So similarly, if you want to be a CEO, okay, what are the ways I'm going to reach that? There needs to be a plan of action, navigation. And there's a beautiful line that a goal without a date is always a dream. So put in a date to whatever you're trying to aspire that maybe in, and how you're going to do that. So thank you for that insight, ma'am. Rakeshji, I would ask you, how can organizations support women who are transitioning to new roles or career phases? As you have so proudly said that you are a recruiter, so who's better than you that I could have asked this question? So how can organizations support?
So there is something called WISH. There's something called what's happening. So I'll talk about what's happening, and then we can talk about WISH. So pretty much, if I talk about my company where I work, we have more than 45% diversity. And we say it proudly that, the company has more than 45% diversity. I still have a target to increase it to 50%. And that's where, I keep looking for announcement by HerRising that where the seminars are, and try to look for some good, talent from there. But to answer your question, I think what is important for us as a company or as a recruiter is to identify folks and earmark certain roles specifically where we have a used case where a women professional could fit and pretty much do that job. So we earmark specifically those jobs as to make sure that we get it at least on the slate, women profiles. The second is that we keep hiring a lot at different levels, but mostly focused on mid and senior, because junior or entry level is where we can take support from the campuses that we hire. We go to only women-specific colleges to ensure that we have maximum intake from those colleges. But at mid and senior, where we feel challenged, even in our company where the diversity is 45%, we see that it drastically drop as we go ahead and women pick up their careers. As you said, that the moment you cross 40, you have other responsibility that takes up beyond the job, and then you rather focus there. And we have seen a lot of people, a lot of female colleagues have started dropping and not considering those jobs and taking it forward. So I think there are leadership programs also. We also do hiring from campuses where we have 5, 6 years. We go to ISB, for instance, as an example. So we envisage different methodologies. We use platforms like HerRising, which gives us an opportunity to look for profiles which are women who have taken a break. We do a lot of referral programs to run in order to consider female profiles for different roles. Technology, we still struggle, by the way. Technology, the combination of the percentage is around 22, 23%, which is very less as compared to what we do in marketing and advertising. So that's an improvement area that we feel, but definitely, what wish list, what we have is, at this point in time, most of our group CEO is a female profile. There are almost 30% of our CEOs in the company are female, diversity. So we are looking forward to it. We are making them as a brand ambassador as we go to different colleges to hire, also different seminars that we conduct. So we look forward to conduct more such events to ensure that we are able to attract the right women profiles from the market. Yeah.
So I'll probably add, Gagandeep, and probably Rakesh highlighted technology, right? And we see a lot of gaps. So I come in from a technology organization, and I think some of the things that the organization should do, and a lot of them are doing already in the industry, is obviously providing flexibility, right? Like post-COVID, and eventually I think looking at the point and milestones we are talking about, I think providing that flexibility for women to be able to adapt to their life needs and life stages is one very, very important factor, which I think a lot of organizations are very beautifully handling while balancing the business needs, right? I think then L&D, I would say, is the next thing. So I've been leading my Women Returner program in Dunambi, and that's been a key thing, right? When you bring in people into a tech role who have lost touch with the industry or work, I think giving them that support of learning and developing themselves back, I think that builds a lot of confidence, right? I think the third most important and underrated thing is empathizing and sensitivity amongst the leadership and a lot of people at the organization, which I think that's probably the biggest thing which I think every industry really needs to focus on, because we don't probably consider that as important as we consider, probably right hiring or right places to hire. I think once people come in, how do you get them to really feel comfortable and part of the organization? So I feel that's something that really needs to be invested on. And I'm very proud to say that, the organization I'm part of really does that well.
All right. So good to hear that, Shweta, and good to hear from you, sir. I agree that, as we say life stages, especially when we talk about women, motherhood, marriage, there are many other challenges. And especially when we talk about tech, even when you go to campuses, you will find very less percentage of women enrolling in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering. The roles, like I've been talking to engineering students, I had the opportunity to online train girls in IIT IIM who come from very humble background. They have got their brilliant brains, they have got the admissions, but they don't have those people skill, and also we teach them that. So the struggle is there, but I think it's the families at the base is family. I think whenever we go out of this room or any seminars, we should start inducing those in our families first and start encouraging our people. And then I think we'll start seeing that, coming up in the society also. But I'm seeing many, like HerRising is taking this initiative, and nowadays things are changing a bit, but again, मैं कहती हूँ कि सफ़र अभी शुरू हुआ है, आगे बहुत जाना है, लंबा है सफ़र. We've just started breaking the ground. So, question to you, Shweta, how can women leverage their existing skills and experience when entering a new industry?
Okay, so I think it can be a new industry or a role, in my opinion, which demands you to leverage your skills. And I think there are I think the first thing to do is to know more about yourself. And, I think Vidita mentioned this, right? That knowing what your skills are and what you exactly need, where you want to go. But I think there are some skills which are so transferable, and I think every woman has them, whether that's leadership, whether that's problem solving, whether that's project management. We all manage homes, babies, family, relations. It comes naturally to us, right? Now, I'm not obviously saying that the men don't have it, but I think women naturally have it, right? So it's an effortless thing for us. And I think we sometimes underrate those qualities which are so key in any role, any industry, doesn't matter, right? I think those skills are our, they are our strengths. And that's where, and I think I heard this in the morning where, Muru was mentioning, put life skills or talk about them when you are talking about your journey. I don't think that's enough valued, but I think that is the key, right? I've made a switch in my career where I picked up a role, not necessarily something I had done for last 10 years, right? It was a completely new kind of a technical field, and I had no knowledge about it. And the people I was working had done that for years. And I think I definitely leveraged my skills, but then I also focused on learning and, working with those people, helping me upskill in the next, months and days and years. And I think that really made the difference. So I think we should just go for things we want to do, right? Even if we feel we don't have the necessary skills, and just get head on it. And I'm sure we can find that space with what we have. So I think that's what really matters.
Take the leap of faith, have belief in yourself, and move to the things that you want to do. See, when I talk about the podcast, it was an idea in year 2020. I would just share a story why I started. It's basically, I had a young cousin. We lost him at the age of 20. And he was at the age of 10, he was diagnosed with a tumor, and he got a squint in his eye because of that. The tumor was in the vein that brought in a squint in his eye. So, generally, whenever you would meet in families, due to which, he couldn't put on weight because of that, and his DNA also, like my grandfather was also very lean, so he couldn't put on weight. So every discussion would always be about, food. You should eat this, you should eat that. So there, when he left us, somebody in his cremation came and said why God took him when he had to take, why God gave him when he had to take him so early. So that's where when I started thinking, why? What was his purpose of coming? And I don't know, I just got these 4 words, what we say, more than my exterior. It was something from above. I thought I would write a book. It didn't happen, the COVID hit. And then I saw the podcast industry growing. I didn't know anything about podcast. But I thought the story was strong, and I didn't know who are the people I'm going to interview. I did not have any plan. I just knew, okay, I have done something where I can talk about loving yourself and the science of loving yourself. But again, I wanted to call in people also. But once you start and you actually start finding right people who come and guide you. But just as Shweta said, it's about starting. Don't doubt yourself. We already have those skills inbuilt, which is people skill. They come very naturally to us. And our instincts are very strong, so build on to that. I didn't know, I just called up a friend who was in snooker industry. They make snooker tables. I said, do you know any person who plays snooker? I've started this. I want to interview. She said, she's not a para athlete, but she started playing at the age of 30 where people are retiring from the game. So she became my first guest. Similarly, from her contact, I don't know how many para athletes now I have interviewed. And then once you start, Instagram is there, LinkedIn. In today's date and time, if you really want to learn something, you want to really get into an industry, there is no dearth of mentors. You will find right people. Just start doing it. Coming back to the questions, my next question to you is, what challenges have you faced when pivoting to a new career phase, or how did you overcome them? Like from the lower management to middle management to coming to a general management, high management. So you've been in 2 different positions. So how have you challenged those, faced those things?
Yeah, times, actually, I have seen the olden times, I have seen the, modern times, and it has changed a lot. When I was recruited, we were only 3 to 4 out of maybe 100. So at that time, when we were in shift, I was not put in shift, but then I have to ask the management, why are you not putting me in shift? So they have got more concerns. They thought that they are the decision makers, yeah. But of course, I was put in morning shift, but not, of course, in night shift. Then, of course, there was a problem with the, washrooms and all. Then you have to walk a long way to go to that. But nowadays, that's not. Things have been, developed a lot. Understanding is there. The vision is more of. And of course, this type of platforms put a bigger role for the management, and they understand things now more actually. So, and of course, then I was put in manager's role, which like my co-panelists say, that it comes very naturally, and I knew that I'm good at it. But of course, I am actually labeled as an emotional manager, of course, but I don't. That is not a drawback, I would think. That is how I actually. Emotional intelligence of mine, which adjust to the the different workforce. So I had non-supervisory reporting to me. I had supervisory reporting to me. But yes, I had confidence in myself that the subject matter which I am in, I have got the confidence. My knowledge is better than everyone. That gave me the confidence. And of course, like my erstwhile panelist also said, like you have to go for asking, and you have to, if you are facing some problem, go and ask, discuss, and then you will have some way out. If you keep things within yourself, if you keep your problem with yourself, it is your problem. But when you speak out, the problem is everybody. So everybody helps you out. Not everybody, maybe some of them might help you out. So that may be one of the way out. So, but of course, we say that, we can do whatever, but sometimes you have to succumb to the, family matters and all. At that point of time, we did not have a, the remote working thing, yeah.
Work from home.
Yeah, work from home. So I had to, come to Delhi for the work. Of course, I was in operation, whereas this is purely in design. But of course, to attend the interview, I had to go through, I had to understand what they do exactly, and where I can say that I will be definitely an additional, asset to them. That's what you should have that in mind. So yes, I got it there, but of course, from there I was in a managerial position. But yes, you have to, when it's a new environment, design work which you have never done before, or maybe partially you are doing it, you have to show that inquisitiveness, learn very fast, grasp very fast, quick learner, so that you know that you can tell that yes, even though I am not in this field, I was not in this field, yes, I am now. Very soon I'll be the master. So that's how I grew up. And now, okay, another thing is, when you are in a particular role, please be innovative. Please give a different perspective of your work. Not somebody gives you work and do it. You give a different perspective. You can tell, oh, this is my idea. We can do it in something else, in some different way. So that is a very positive thing. Management notices everything, and of course that is way I follow. I always encourage people to think otherwise rather than to give a work in hand and then do it casually. So that is how you set up your own, and you should know that what is your strength. So that's how you build your empire on.
I think it's people like you, Bittal ma'am, who've stood their ground for so long that we can see changes now. You've done that journey, you have asked the questions that were needed to ask. And that's why we could see the generation coming now can see, okay, there's more acceptance. There are more things that are already there. So thank you for being that.
Gagan, I'll just add to Vidita's answer, right? So I think one thing which I faced, and I'm sure there are more women sitting here and maybe online who, was like self-doubt in the initial days of, when I changed my role. I think or whenever you make a move, which was, I think it was more like, am I
Good
will
enough
I,
for
yeah, am I
this?
good enough, will I be able to do this, and somewhere there are some people around you also who support you a lot, but then there are people around you who do have a lot of,
Who gonna pull you down?
yes,
Yeah.
they do have some, skeptical thoughts about you. Okay, why was she selected? Or, and I'm not saying everybody's like that. There are a lot of people who support you and are around there to boost you and, push you to do your best. But I think that's one thing which comes in initially. But I think it's like, you just go on, just let yourself be. And that's what helped me. Give myself time, give myself the effort that I wanted to put in to truly kind of believe that, it was me who deserved to be there and, who deserved to get to that point. And I think that really I would say that was the biggest challenge, along with obviously Bideta ma'am has highlighted a lot of very realistic challenges, which I think a lot of us faced. But I think that's one thing which was, I don't know if we share that with more people when we go through that, because we tend to keep it within us.
But I think it's good that we share, as women who have worked in industry for 10, 20 years, we share our challenges with the younger generation, so they know what are the paths they have, that because everyone who's coming in new, all of us are full of self-doubt, especially in, we don't know how the things are going. So I think at that time, people look up to the women power that's already in office, that has the experience of 10, 15 years. So they really look up to them. I think we should share our challenges. Rakeshji, one last question would be to you. What strategies have you employed to manage work-life balance during times of significant career changes? Like, you would have also gone through change of companies and different career stages. So have you managed the work-life balance?
So I think the company that I worked were quite supportive from the fact that they had very strong and unbelievable HR practices. And I felt that even my female colleagues, they had that opportunity to flex in terms of their work timings. That opportunity was pretty much there. But I think even as we speak today in the current organization, we're still working flexible, and we understand. I have around 80% of my team members female employees. So I work almost like very few people in the office most of the days, but I make sure that and also thanks to the team, that they don't let the productivity go down. You know that recruiting is like every day is a new day. Some of you who can relate. You've done extremely well yesterday, but today, if you have not done, it's like sales. You just get beaten up. So I think not letting and taking that responsibility, understanding that as a manager, that what is it that the productivity parameters could be, and how flexible you could be to help your team member to be there wherever they are. Even some people were, taken a long break, 2 months, 3 months, and then, they were still working. So I feel that it's also up to the organization, and also people like specific functions like human resources who can be the torch bearers and coach some of the leaders across in order to, depict certain behavior to ensure that there is a flexibility given at the right time.
Thank you. This has been really insightful for me as well, I think, for the audience. I would request the audience to, if you have any questions, kindly ask the questions. And I would also request the online audience who would be watching us live, if you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, sure. Can we give her the mic, please?
Hello, everyone. My name is Parul Bhargav. My question is for Shweta Kapoor. And first of all, I want to thank everybody. I think this was great discussion. But Shweta, you spoke about self-doubt, which comes in. I was looking for if you have any specific strategies or things that you do, because it's not just when you're transitioning into a new career, but it could happen at different stages of your, not day to day, but in your career as you move forward from one role to the other, or certain things that you haven't done before, or why you are selected for a certain thing. So if you could share some strategies that have helped you, would be useful.
Thank you. Quite a valid question. I don't know if I really have a strategy, but I think what really helped me, and I can share that, Parul, is, just keep going forward and probably, and doing stuff which builds my confidence. Whether that is implementing the ideas that I had or giving myself learning opportunities to feel more confident. And I think somewhere just moving ahead with time and feeling confident about my achievements really helped me come through that. And I know, self-doubt can be at all stages, and we all run into it almost sometimes a day. I don't know if it is every day, but sometimes we can run into it, right? Like, am I a good mother? Am I a good manager? Am I a good person? I don't know. So I think it's more about believing in who you are, and you're trying your best every day, right? So you may or may not be, the best manager or the best mother, but I think you're a good mother, you're a good manager because you're trying your best. And I think I've tried to bring myself into that zone that, my intent is good and I'm doing my best to move forward. People around me also actually helped me come out of that self-doubt. I would like to give credit to my team, my family, when they see you perform well, the appreciation that comes in, that also helps. So I think it's been more of just pushing forward, and I think with time, giving yourself ample opportunity and time to make that confidence come into yourself. And I think sharing my thoughts is another bit which I would say. So I think just keep believing in yourself, and it will go down over time.
Okay, मैं इसमें एक
Thank
line
you.
add करना चाहूँगी, which I use in my communication also. Whenever the self-doubt comes in, even when we won the World Cup, Virat Kohli was not having his best of series, and he wasn't confident. So best of us lose self-doubt, get that doubt. तो अपने आप को सिर्फ एक लाइन बोलना, आप निर्मा नहीं हो, आप सबकी पसंद नहीं हो सकते. तो हम सबकी पसंद निर्मा नहीं है. हम सब में अपनी अपनी खूबियां हैं, बस उन खूबियों को पहचानिए, उनको और बेहतर करते जाइए, and you will find your place. Unfortunately, for the lack of time, we won't be able to take the online questions. If anyone has any other question, quickly the next panel discussion is up. They're showing us time. But we have 2-3 questions, so we'll quickly take these 2 questions.
First of all, thank you for all the insightful discussion. I have noticed that companies tend to focus more on their back-to-work program for women with IT background. And someone coming from a non-IT background, I'm curious that how can we navigate to get better opportunities? And how can companies be more supportive in their inclusion to get women back to work who comes from non-IT or non-tech background? Thank you.
I can say about KBR, we really, look forward to increase our, this ratio, male to female ratio. But in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we find very less women. Even CVs are very, we don't find good CVs. And of course, if there are 10 CVs of males, I find only 1 or 2 CVs for the same position. So we thought that we would go for, to the campuses and tell about KBR so that they are encouraged, they are inspired. And of course, we are a technology company. We believe in, employee empowerment, and of course, inclusivity and diversity. And also, we have started taking in interns, where if we find that internships, they have done a good in internship, then we give a PPO. So that's also that we have started. So IT nowadays, I think it's preferred by females because they had that, the flexibility. But now our company is also giving flexibility, like 2 or 3 days working from office and then rest from home, creche and everything. We are open-minded and listen.
I think also one thing that you said before, ask for it. If you're looking for a front row, again, get prepared. What are the skills that you're bringing in? Do your SWOT analysis. Like, what are the skills that you're bringing in? I think we're going to take one last question. I think the 4-5
Hi.
minutes, but we're really
Hi.
out of time. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. So first and foremost, thank you so much. Thank you, Rakesh, Bidita, and Shweta, and Gagandeep for kickstarting this wonderful panel discussion. My question is that all of you at some time in this discussion did mention know your strengths. Bidita was very specific about even doing our SWOT, and I think just now. My question is that when somebody is presenting, if I'm going out, you know, I'm at the interview, how do I identify my unique value proposition that I'm bringing to the table? Because ultimately, that's the defining factor, yeah? So, and Gagandeep, when you began the discussion, you did mention that, you know, people tell you to do something, but the how behind it is what needs to be uncovered. So I would really like this value, you know, this discussion to guide me to really identify how do I identify my unique value proposition?
I'm not promoting myself, but you can find it by listening to More Than My Exterior Love Thyself, where we are doing that science. Okay, there are different ways. There's no one way of doing because every person is different. We are not all same. Okay, so to understand deeply what kind of person you are, at which radar in your life, wheel of life, where you are standing right now, where you're financially, where you're emotionally. So it's an everyday practice. You need to put in effort to analyze things. What we have stopped doing is sitting with ourselves and questioning ourselves. That's what we have stopped doing. So I think it's the best way of knowing yourself is sitting with yourself and analyzing, asking those questions. You already have the answers, trust me.
Yeah, and I think I'll just add to this, right? And I think there are lots of tools now. If we make it a little more practical for you, I think there are lots of tools available online which really help you know your personality, know your strengths. And I'm not really saying, you know, any one of them is best, but I think you can obviously look at the skills that the industry you're wanting yourself in needs, and then rate yourself. But that obviously starts by introspection, right? So as you know, Gagandeep said, knowing yourself is the first step. But then marking yourself against the skills that the industry demands, I think that helps you create your unique value proposition. Because if you're looking at a tech industry wanting AI and you are talking about something else, it's not going to really be a unique value proposition in that job interview. So I think you need to do both. You need to know yourself, but you also need to define what am I looking at, right? And where do I stand in that? Is that the right fit for me? And what is that I need to do to get there? So I think that'll really help you define your unique value proposition. Knowing yourself and knowing where you are looking yourself at.
So what you got and what is the market demanding and how to fill in that gap, just that would be more practical way of doing it. And yeah, and nowadays with the help of internet, there are many tools. You just need to, they Google search away. So on that note, thank you, Bidita, Rakesh, and Shweta for joining us for this insightful panel discussion. I hope you we couldn't take all the questions, but thank you. And